Hey everybody, it's your friend Sarmate here, and we're back with another episode of Settlement Survival. I hope you're having a fantastic and amazing day today, and this is going to be a food-focused episode. We have a lot of things we got to get fixed over here in the town. We had a really nice comment that went through and pointed out some things that we could maybe do to improve our situation here, including, you may have noticed, a huge pasture over here on the left. I have been apt to use the 7x7 pastures for really no particular reason, and somebody was like, hey, try doing a bigger one. So we have a 15x17 over here with almost 50 turkeys in it. So look at this, 456 turkeys out of that with 2 workers. So the 7x7 turkey that we had was about 151 per year. So that's pretty good increase. So we're gonna be doing that a little bit more often. What else did I do over here was the 2 turkeys that we had, I changed those to buffalo. So we have a few more buffalo running around here. I'm kind of considering doing a whole bunch more of these pastures because we should be able to save a few work by doing that. Another thing this person pointed out was that we were lacking schools. And I tend to do that because the students that go to school could have been laborers. And in the early game, I feel like we just need laborers for all these things. So I kind of took some time. We built a school. We got it right here. It's right now plump full of students. When people graduate school, they become more efficient workers. And the school also produces tech points for you. So I decided I'll throw a school in. So we have that working now. Again, we're really low laborers because we're down to 1 right now. We're waiting for another batch of immigrants to get here, which is on the timeline, so soon. A couple other things we did. They also suggested to do some more storage yards closer to our industry buildings. So that's what I have here. In this storage yard, we have next to our smithy and a distillery. So I have agave marked, and I also have timber marked and a couple of textile materials for the tailor that's right here. So I did that. I put a couple of those storage yards around. I think they're working pretty well. I put a couple more up here as well. So just because it's around the farms. We also have 2 cactuses going over here, as well as a cactus workshop, which is being pretty good here. We have 1,100 plus cactuses just from 2 farms. These 2 people are working really hard to get us cactus cuts, trying to maintain some food during the off season here. And right before this season starts, what I want to do is we have about 4 tech points. We have a lot. So what I want to do is kind of on the theme of the schools here, I want to go to school expansion. I'm going to go to education efficiency, boarding school, and academy. Now, the reason I want to go all the way down to academy is because you get 3 development points after you get all the way down. So since we have 4, I feel like we're going to go ahead and do that. So we'll get these 4 points. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to go over to agriculture, and then we have 3 points left, right? So now I'm going to go to farming efficiency. We're just kind of at the point where I need to do it. I wasn't doing it because I wanted to change my development path, and I did that already. And now we're at the point where we need some stinking food here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. While we're paused, I think I'm going to swap these over to peas. Let's do a couple peas. Let's see how it works. In case it doesn't, then we'll have a couple backup broccolis. But I think it'll be pretty good. So let's go ahead and we'll unpause it. We'll get going here. So all those things that we just learned can't really... I could build a couple of standard farms. The difference is that the farms can use fertilizer to boost yield, and we did get a compost plant so that we could make those fertilizers. My hesitation there is that we're using a lot of the poop for the domestic fuels, and I really don't want to take that away. So I'm gonna just leave it for now. I wouldn't mind getting a compost thing going here, but since we're gonna rearrange some of our pastures anyways, well, maybe we'll put it in once we get that in a better spot. So since we do have so many buffalo, let's go ahead and mark out a better pasture. So 20 by 20 is the biggest they suggested with 2 workers. So let's see how close we can get to that. 16 by 20, that's pretty good. We're gonna go ahead and put some buffalo in there. We also had to go over here, and we've been trying to build another cemetery here for quite a while, and we just don't have any timber to do it. So now we got a couple trees around town here. We should definitely mark those in the winter to get taken down. Let's go ahead and gather all up over in here. Just mark some things. We have the 4 laborers. They'll go out there and get that done. We're still doing this thing where we have to send out people constantly to be taking down trees. I even lost a couple people in the forester hut, and you can see it's kind of getting more bare in there because there hasn't been anybody there for a long time. But with this batch of immigrants, I think we'll have a good amount of people to put into things like that again. And then we do have the school, which should be a little bit bigger now. It's got 20 students. We got people graduating right now, so that's great. Now we're up to 5 laborers, so it's pretty good. We need that stuff happening. I also did one more trade caravan to Rania, and we got level 1. Check that out, level 1. I'm even considering maybe doing a big orchard to start getting some dates going on. Okay, we're in May here. It looks like everybody's planted up, and the things are getting ripe. So yeah, the broccoli's already halfway ripe, and then the 30% on the pea seeds. So we'll keep our eyes peeled, but just make sure that those get taken down for the most part when once the season's over. We have a couple people who need new houses. I have few laid out here, as you can see, but again, timber is a big problem, so I'm not gonna do that just yet. Well, let's check our here. Yeah, we're doing all right in the interim housing. So I'll go ahead and leave that open, and we won't put any more houses in just yet. We also had to take 2 people out of our well because we have 1,800 water, tons and tons of water. And I think part of the reason why we have so much water is because this distillery is keeping real good pace with the spirits that we're using. And so we're not using as much water as we could have been. Oh yeah, we just need a lot of timber. We need 300 plus over here, and we need a couple more over here. So we got to get those things chopped up and working. Since we almost have one more tech point, I was thinking about the education efficiency here. The school can use paper to increase education efficiency by 100%. So now that we have one tech point, and we do have reeds already, we could learn some paper. Let's do that. Let's get a paper unlocked. We got our little guy over here making us some baskets. We do need a couple more people working on the reed fields, but we can do that with that new batch of laborers that gets here. So let's see, we got our paper mill. Let's get this guy going someplace. We'll put it kind of by the reed field over here, and we'll probably do a little warehouse or a storage spot for the reeds over here. So let's go ahead and I'll grab a little 4x4 warehouse. I'm gonna get it on this side of the world. Actually, I'm gonna cancel this because that's gonna be sitting there for a while. We do have this warehouse right here, but I'm gonna make this one specific for reeds. We do have reeds over here. I got 3 cats that I can sell to Carlos. I'm just waiting for some people to do that. And let's just double check over here. They got this stuff all gathered up. Excellent. I'm going to go ahead and get another huge bunch. All right, so it's August. We got our broccoli coming in. Our peas are getting collected as well. So we'll see how close we get to finishing this here. And then we'll compare how many broccolis versus how many peas we get. And if we're at the point now where we can swap our broccoli to peas. And remember that the broccolis have 5 output per grid, where the peas have 9. So we're almost doubling it if we can swap over to peas, which would be really, really great for our food stocks. So broccolis are off the field. This one's almost done, so we'll check back here in a little bit. It's about to get some snow on the ground, so let's mark some more stuff around the town to get gathered up, including all these trees and hopefully some more little food things around. We are kind of struggling with medicinal herbs, so that's another thing that we could really start thinking about here pretty soon, is getting down to the nursery, but we need to have these 3 other things first. Maybe that's the next tree that we go down. All right, so the broccolis are off the fields. Almost all the peas are off. Ooh, it's getting close here. This one I think will be good to go. Okay, so we did lose a little bit, but let's look at numbers. Broccoli, 231, 428 peas. Look at that, 250 broccoli, almost double. So yeah, that's about right. So let's go ahead and we'll swap our broccolis to peas, and we will start to be making peas instead. Well, that'll be really good. Almost doubling our food every year, I think, is going to be a pretty big deal for us. We've been scooting by. We're up to 800 now. It's just after harvest, so we'll see what it looks like in a couple months here. We have our cactus workshop continuously working. We got over 1,400 cactus in reserve. We could absolutely put a couple more people in here, especially now that we have 7 laborers. Let's go ahead and put 1 more in there and continue to make some cactus cuts, providing some more food for us all throughout the year. And we'll go ahead and mark a few more things. We got all this stuff getting gathered up over here with the extra laborers we have from our farmers. We'll go ahead and mark a few more things up there. Still waiting on this thing to get built up, but our graveyard is good to go, which is nice. And now that we have better tech points going on, the next thing we're going to work on, like we mentioned, is getting to the nursery. But I think we'll even go a little bit further and go down to forest farm. We'll also need herb knowledge too to get some of those medicinal herbs coming. But we'll do this whole tree next, I think. We're at the point where we need to get some people like permanently getting in some trees. The forester huts are pretty meh. When they had them up and running, they were getting like 20 per year, and that's just not very great. So we'll go ahead and put a couple more people in there though for now. We got 5 more people as laborers. Let's just check this quick. We don't have any paper in here yet. Still waiting on this guy to get built up. We only have 1 builder for now. So let's wait just for a little bit here, and we'll check our food stocks on the end of the season here, and we'll grab these immigrants. We're just starting planting for the next year, and we're still in the green. Look at that, 670. That's awesome. So that was the key for us. We really needed that farming efficiency. I don't know why I was ignoring something that I knew was really good, but anyways, we got it. We got our food situation working pretty well now. We do have a couple more immigrants nearly here. Here they are, running up on the side. What I think we're gonna do here, put a couple people in the reed field, get some reeds happening, and then we're gonna get a couple more people in the paper mill to get some paper happening. Then we're of course going to be getting more laborers more quickly who are trained by the school, and our tech points from the Research Institute will be coming in a little bit quicker as well once we allow it to use paper. 12 immigrants are ready for us. Let's go ahead and accept those people. And our interim housing looking okay, 7 out of 24 currently. So it's okay. We're doing all right. We do have houses planned, so we can start building those once we get a couple of things gathered up here. Tyrone's working hard at our butcher. We have 570 meat chops in the last year. That's super great. That is working really, really, really well. Happy about that for sure. We're still working on our pasture over here, but that's okay. With the whole bunch more immigrants we have now, up to 14, you know what we're going to do? We got to do our gather. Go ahead. We're going to mark a bunch of stuff up over here. We're going to mark this as well. Get all that stuff gathered up. We're pretty low on some rocks, so we're going to go ahead and gather some iron ore and some of these rocks over here as well. We have one person each in here. Let's go ahead and put 2 more in there in the forester huts. I'm going to put 1 more person back in the gather, and then 1 more person in the reeds. I'll put a couple more laborers in once we get some of the stuff gathered up. Maybe in the wintertime, we'll put a couple more people in. Checking out our food stocks here. We are well into the green with food now, so I'm happy about that. We really got that working great. Another thing that I wanted to look at was the spirits that we're creating. And yeah, that's about what I thought. Pretty far into the red. So we are gonna need another one of these guys. Let's get a distillery queued up to get created here. We are utilizing these storage yards for the agave. I'm not seeing any water over here yet, but that's okay. It's still working. Let's also put in another builder here because it looks like we kind of need that. All right, it's winter time, so we called back a couple of those gatherers here. You can see we still have some snowflakes running into the town, but we do have a caravan set up for Carlos. We got 4 members like normal. We got our insurance. I'm going to sell some cats, and I was thinking that we had a lot of excess of salt. We had like 700 plus. I'm going to go ahead and trade 500 out. 4,000 gold on the way is being pretty great. And then I'm going to buy some herbs too. We really need them. We're at 0. So 1,000 of those on the way. We're going to go ahead and farm those. Now, of course, we're out of laborers because that's how it works sometimes. But if we take a peek, oh, well, that's where they all went. We got this we got this pasture done. So there we go. Got 3 laborers back. And then we're going to go ahead and swap this to buffalo. And then we go up here. And we're going to transfer these to pasture number 7. Transfer to 7. Transfer to 7. So we'll get those guys to waddle on down out of there. And then let's go ahead and I think I'm gonna separate out a couple of these geese into these new areas until we can build a couple more big pastures for some geese. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just share the love a little bit with them. Go ahead and separate these out into the pasture number 1. And then these guys, maybe we just take them down because we're not going to be over here. And I wouldn't mind getting some more farms going. So let's go ahead and demolish, this guy and this guy. That'll give us back 2 more workers as well. We're sitting at 5 now. And we are ready to get our first point into this tree. Let's go ahead and grab that apiary. So beehives are generally found near mature trees within the structure range. Apiaries collect honey and beeswax from them. Okay, so apiary, we'll grab that. Gonna go ahead and go up here, apiary. And we have this nice little spot up here that's full of really dense mature trees. We're gonna go ahead and plop this guy down right over here. Other distillery is good to go. We're gonna go ahead and get that ready as well. All right, let's go ahead and grab our standard farms. I took the road out of there just for a little bit more space. And we're gonna go ahead and put 2 more farms in there, and we can even put 2 more down here. So let's get those. There's 1 and there's 2. We do have 5 laborers. I don't think I'm gonna put everybody onto those fields right away. I do need a couple more agave fields happening though. We need to continue to make some more agave for the second distillery that we have. Oh, we do have a pretty good stock though. But that's good that we have the stock, but it's not going to last forever. Maybe we can make some more cactuses too while we're at it. Let's check the stock here. 1,300. That's looking pretty great. We got 630 cactus cuts out of this in the last year. That's awesome. So how's this going? 60? Okay. We'll get started with the paper mill hopefully. I don't know how much we'll get into it, but we'll see. So this guy using paper, we'll switch that to yes. There we go. That's going to help that out. And then we'll get down this next tree of text pretty quickly here, hopefully. And now that it's nice out, we could of course do our thing where we mark some things for gathering. I'm kind of getting sick of doing this. It's been almost 30 years of game time that we're doing this, which is a little excessive in my opinion. I should have probably done much more forester huts and focused on that instead of just the manual gathering. But once we get to the forest farm, we'll be all right. We have about 100 days left on our caravan. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to tier 2. I would be very surprised if we got to tier 2 with just this one batch that was happening right now. We could turn it around though and continue to trade with Rania and get that rep up as well. Well, speaking of her, let's go ahead and get an orchard started. Since our spacing is kind of weird up here on by the farms, I think I'm gonna just scoot it in right there. It's 7 by 10, kind of weird. We'll get some dates going. I'm gonna only put one person in there. Yeah, this whole deal, I'm not happy with how we laid it out. How I'm gonna have to rearrange it eventually, probably. But let's continue to work our way down over in here. I think we got enough room for about another 20 by 20 pasture. I'll just continue to bring this road over. And maybe I'll leave one space so we can cut through. But I think I'll probably put another pasture in there. Yeah, so let's go with one more space for the road, and then we'll see how big we can go here. Let's go 19 by 20. That's pretty good. And then, of course, let's do a little zigzaggy road. And we have a little spot right there. We could do another storage yard. I'm going to try and sprinkle these around more often. I like that idea that the person gave us of putting them by our industrial stuff. I think it just doesn't hurt to have things sprinkled around, so there's just more access for stuff to get placed. Like if this tier gets completed, they can go right here. My intent was to use this warehouse for both, but that's kind of way around. So we'll just go ahead and put that in there. We'll see how that works out. And we could easily also continue our road and bring it over here or something. We are currently out of laborers. Yikes. Okay, let's go ahead and get 2 of them back. There we go. And this was going to be agave. Go ahead and do that. We do have a little bit of time because of how many we have stocked up. So I'm not in a super rush to get that happening, but I would like to get it here sooner than later. How is our soaps going? It looks like our health is pretty low, and I was wondering how that is. Yeah, no reserves. We should have tons of fats though. Yep. So again, another thing that we are going to need to put some more workers in. Now, we could have 12 more laborers, but our school is taking those people up. I just got to be patient here. Once we get some paper happening, this should hasten pretty quickly here, and we'll be able to get some more laborers more quickly that are more efficient and better. Caravan is back with over 3,000 money and 4 workers. So that'll be good. Well, 3 workers. I guess somebody must not have made it back. So we could turn that around, or we could sprinkle those people somewhere, and I think we'll put them into some work. That'll probably be a better use of them than putting them on the caravan that we don't really need at this point. So let's go ahead. We'll do one more person there. And let's leave the 3 laborers. I want to have a few laborers, so we'll do that. Looks like our paper mill is slow and steadily making some paper. Last year we made 20. This year we're at 5 so far. I did catch it in the school for a little bit there, so it is getting to where we intended. Super happy about that. So we got the education working for us pretty great in this episode. Our food is looking much better. We did get our orchard completed over here. We got some dates happening pretty soon here in a few more years. And we do have one more tech point we're going to go ahead and throw into the grove. So nothing special there. We can't really do anything with it. At this point, we could upgrade our orchard, but we aren't going to bother with that. And I think that's going to be it for this episode. We got lots of food taken care of. We're learning some stuff with education. Thank you for that great post and the suggestions. If you have more suggestions, please send them over in a comment. I like reading those, and you guys help me learn the game even better. I feel like I got a pretty good hold on the game, but there's still some things that I overlook. So thanks for watching. Have a fantastic and amazing rest of your evening, day, or night, and I'll see you again soon.